Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm Zia, and joining me today, as always, is the wonderful Bob.
Thanks, Zia. Great to be here. And I'm really looking forward to today's topic because, honestly, I think it's something every single one of us grapples with, probably more often than we'd care to admit.
Absolutely. We're talking about that all too familiar feeling when emotions just take over. You know, when anger flares up and you say something you instantly regret, or sadness completely paralyzes you, or frustration builds to a point where you just throw your hands up and make a rash decision.
Oh, tell me about it. I've been there so many times. It's like your brain just switches off and your primal instincts kick in, right? You're not thinking rationally anymore. You're just reacting.
Exactly. It's that moment where you feel like you're not in the driver's seat anymore. Your emotions are steering, and they're usually going full speed towards a cliff.
Cliff, or at the very least, a really uncomfortable conversation or a decision you have to live with later. I remember once, I was trying to fix this leaky faucet, and it was just not cooperating. The wrench slipped, water went everywhere, and I just saw red.
Oh no, what happened?
I slammed the wrench down so hard on the counter it actually cracked the tile. Then, completely frustrated, I just walked away, left the water running and went to sit in my car for 20 minutes. Came back and the kitchen was a mini swimming pool.
That's a classic example, isn't it? The frustration builds, you lose perspective, and what could have been a minor annoyance turns into a much bigger, costlier problem.
Exactly. And the irony is, if I had just taken a deep breath, walked away for a minute, or even called someone for help, I wouldn't have had to replace a tile and mop up a huge mess.
It's so easy to look back and see it clearly, but in the moment when that surge of emotion hits, it feels almost impossible to stop. I think for me, it's often sadness or disappointment that can really derail things. I remember a time when I got some tough feedback at work, and instead of taking it constructively, I just completely shut down.
That's rough. What did that look like for you?
Well, I got the feedback, which was valid, by the way, but my immediate reaction was just this overwhelming sense of failure and sadness. Instead of asking clarifying questions or discussing how to improve, I just nodded, said okay, and then spent the rest of the day completely unproductive, just spiraling. I let that sadness dictate my entire afternoon, and it impacted other tasks I needed to do.
It's interesting how different emotions manifest, right? Anger makes you lash out or break things, frustration makes you give up or make things worse, and sadness can make you retreat and become inactive. But the common thread is that they all hijack your ability to make a rational, effective decision.
Totally. And it's not just about the big dramatic outbursts, it's also the subtle ways. Like if you're really stressed out, you might make impulsive purchases to try and feel better, only to regret it later. Or you might snap at a loved one over something tiny because you're internally boiling with anxiety about something else entirely.
Oh, the stress shopping, guilty as charged. It's like, if I just buy this one thing, everything will be okay. Spoiler alert, it rarely is. It just adds another layer of, why did I do that?
Right? So, why do we do this? Why do these emotions just take over so completely?
Well, a lot of it comes down to our brain's wiring, really. When strong emotions hit, especially anger or fear, our amygdala, that's the part of your brain responsible for processing emotions, it basically goes into overdrive. It's like a fire alarm, shouting, danger, react now.
And it overrides the more logical, rational parts of our brain, like the prefrontal cortex, which is supposed to be our decision maker, our planner.
Exactly. So, when the amygdala is screaming, the prefrontal cortex essentially gets muted. We go into fight, flight, or freeze mode, which is great if you're actually being chased by a bear, but not so helpful if you're just stuck in traffic or dealing with a broken faucet.
So it's a primal survival mechanism that's kicking in at inappropriate times. That makes so much sense. And I imagine past experiences also play a huge role, right? If you've always reacted a certain way to criticism, that pathway becomes more ingrained.
Totally. It's a learned response to some degree. If lashing out got you attention as a kid, or retreating helped you avoid further conflict, those patterns get reinforced. Breaking them takes conscious effort.
Okay, so we know why it happens. The big question then is, what do we do about it? How do we start to regain that control when we feel the emotional tide rising?
First thing, and this sounds almost too simple, but it's incredibly powerful, pause. Just a beat. That's it. It's like creating a tiny gap between the stimulus and your reaction. Instead of immediate reaction, it's stimulus pause response.
The good old count to 10 method?
Precisely. Or, my personal favorite, just taking 3 slow, deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. That simple act can actually signal to your nervous system to calm down, giving your prefrontal cortex a chance to catch up.
That makes sense. It's like giving your brain a little reset button. What else?
Next, try to identify the emotion. Don't just feel bad or angry. Get specific. Are you feeling frustrated, disappointed, overwhelmed, sad? Labeling the emotion can actually help to diminish its intensity.
That's a good point. It's like shining a light on it rather than letting it fester in the shadows. Once you name it, you can start to understand it.
Exactly. And once you've named it, you can then ask yourself, is this emotion serving me right now? Is this reaction going to lead to the outcome I actually want? Most of the time, the answer is no.
Okay, so pause, identify, and then question. I like that. It gives you a little framework to work with in the heat of the moment.
Another powerful technique is what's called cognitive reappraisal. It sounds fancy, but it's just about reframing the situation. Instead of, this is a disaster, I'm a failure, try, okay, this is a setback. What can I learn from this? What's one small step I can take to make it better?
Well, that's huge because it shifts you from a victim mentality to a problem solver mentality. Instead of letting the emotion overwhelm you, you're looking for agency.
Exactly. It doesn't mean you're denying the emotion or pretending it's not there. It means you're acknowledging it, but then consciously choosing how you want to respond to it.
I think also sometimes the best thing to do is remove yourself from the situation if possible, like your leaky faucet scenario, Bob. Stepping away for a few minutes can work wonders.
100%. Physical distance can create emotional distance, even if it's just walking into another room, getting some water, or stepping outside for a minute. That change of scenery can break the emotional feedback loop.
What about when emotions just feel too big to handle on your own? When you feel like you're constantly getting overwhelmed?
That's when seeking support becomes crucial. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or a professional can make a massive difference. Sometimes just articulating what you're feeling to someone else can help you process it and see it from a different perspective.
Absolutely. A good friend can offer empathy or even just be a sounding board without judgment. And a therapist can give you tools and strategies tailored to your specific emotional patterns.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows you're committed to your own well-being and growth.
It definitely is. Beyond those in-the-moment strategies, what are some more long-term practices that can help build emotional resilience?
Great question. For me, mindfulness and meditation have been game changers. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day, practicing being present, noticing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, can slowly build that muscle of emotional awareness and control.
I can attest to that. It's not about emptying your mind, but about observing it. And that observation gives you that crucial pause we talked about, but consistently over time, so it becomes more natural.
Exactly. And physical activity is another huge one. Exercise isn't just good for your body, it's incredibly good for your mind. It releases endorphins, reduces stress hormones, and can be a fantastic outlet for pent-up energy from anger or frustration.
Yeah, a good run or even just a brisk walk can totally shift your mood and perspective. I also find journaling to be really helpful. Getting those swirling emotions and thoughts down on paper can make them feel less overwhelming and more manageable.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a free therapy session with yourself. You can vent, you can analyze, you can brainstorm solutions, all without judgment, and you can often see patterns in your emotional responses that you might not notice otherwise.
And the benefits of developing this kind of emotional control, Bob, They're huge, aren't they? It's not just about avoiding meltdowns.
No, it's so much more. It's about better relationships, first and foremost. When you can manage your reactions, you communicate more effectively, you build trust, and you foster deeper connections.
Definitely. Less snapping at loved ones, more thoughtful responses. That makes a world of difference in a partnership or with family.
And it leads to clearer thinking. When your emotions aren't clouding your judgment, you can make better decisions at work, financially, for your health. You're operating from a place of logic and insight, not just impulse.
Which in turn reduces overall stress, doesn't it? Because you're not constantly battling yourself or dealing with the fallout of impulsive decisions.
Exactly. It creates a much calmer, more centered you. It's about cultivating inner peace, even when the external world is throwing curveballs.
So, for our listeners who might be feeling overwhelmed by emotions right now, what's one small actionable step they can take today?
I'd say start with the pause and the breath. The next time you feel that familiar surge of anger, sadness, or frustration, just try to take 3 slow, deep breaths before you do or say anything. Just 3. It's a small step, but it's incredibly powerful in starting to regain that control.
Love that. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. No one's perfect at emotional control all the time, but with consistent practice, you can absolutely build that muscle and live a more intentional, less reactive life.
Couldn't agree more, Zia. It's about progress, not perfection, and every small step counts.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to this incredibly important conversation. We hope you found it helpful and empowering.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone, and remember to breathe.